Okay, sorry about that. That thing. Let's save, thankfully. Okay, that's good. Close. Date. Post. Date post. Close. Close. Ba, 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 ba. And in the right category, let's get going. Right now, Takami is on the topic of offensive capabilities. You do so you quickly realize that there we go. That should be good. You can say there one topic you have been, hey Salmon, have been avoiding, but needs mainly because how things been? But yeah, I've been quite busy lately. I've been shifting on to a new schedule as well as a bunch of other stuff happening. So, depending on how that goes, stuff will maybe clear up in a couple weeks. But I've been waking up super early and going to the gym in the morning instead of after I stream lately. I've been in the office more. New things at work. And then I've got some other stuff, some IRL stuff that is taking up a lot of my time. And yeah, that's why streams have been short lately. But hopefully, things will approach normality soon. If not, get a little bit better. That's always the hope anyways. On the topic of offensive capabilities, there's one topic you've been avoiding, mainly because the issue is one that I like. An inadequacy. Your own work. You lips as you think. As the thought crosses your mind, but it is simply a truthful fact. Okay. Where's my thing? But it is the truth. Tommy is perhaps the strongest combatant available. Technically, she has never, especially since you. Yeah, I've been using. Again, I am one of the. So I do not like speaking from a place of ignorance, so I have used some AI models to try and like understand how the whole thing works, right? To avoid being a dumbass and just like speaking out of my ass about shit. And what I can tell you is that AI code generation still isn't there. The moment you try and do something that is like a very specific use case, right? Like, for example, I wanted to do something that I figured would be very easy, right? I wanted to create a simple AI agent with like a local AI system that used LangChain and RAG and all of that stuff in order to like do a very simple local chatbot, right? Built off of Olama. It would be a very simple thing, and it doesn't like have a huge issue in terms of like dealing with large contexts and blah 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 blah. This should be very easy. There are dozens of examples of how to do it on the internet. I am not asking for it to do anything fancy. I just need it to do like some very simple Python code. I'm actually doing said Python code by hand now, and I have made more progress in half an hour than the AI system did, despite several attempts. So, yeah. Not great. maybe there's something different about how, like, because I've mostly been using local models, but no, I'm using like fairly recent models. I'm using quantized versions, sure, but but at least from what I've been able to find, the comparison to the comparison is like the difference would be in the quality, not really in the overarching thing, right? The problem with the models I'm getting is not that the system works but crashes a bunch, right? It isn't that I get something that's kind of there. The problem is when I tried to do this with the whole, like, okay, I just need you to set up ChromaDB, LangChain, and a basic ass HTTP server with like some simple HTML pages, right? The damn thing couldn't even compile the code. It couldn't compile, it couldn't like set up basic classes, it wasn't doing like reasonable construction. Like, it was able to come up with a plan that was like very clearly working, but damn, the thing really couldn't go further than that. Like, maybe Claude Code is better than that, or like Fable or whatever, but at that point, if you're starting to deal with like the more expensive AI models, right, like the big AI models that run the things, let me tell you a little secret. Now that they're starting to like actually do token-based billing, it is cheaper for you to just hire a person to do it. Yeah, so basically what the problem with Fable is it's not a problem, right? Fable, when they released Fable and like whatever it was called, like Mythos, right? Fable is like a version of Mythos and yada 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 yada. Point is, when they were releasing Mythos, they did all of this marketing bullshit about how Mythos is this huge cybersecurity thing, and it's solving all of these problems. Honestly, since even before Mythos came out, they've been using like Mythos style harnesses on other AI models, and it's been producing the same results. There's nothing special about Mythos here. It's just the way that the AI is being used. And also, there's nothing special about the fact that Mythos is finding this shit. The biggest problem with like this sort of chaining exploits kind of thing has always been the level of autism in the world, because it requires a sort of monomaniacal hyperfocus to understand every single subsystem in a massive Linux distro, so that you can find every single edge case and then figure out how these edge cases link together. If you could get a single programmer who was like focused and dedicated enough to actually analyze every single bit of code, say every single program in a Linux install, they could definitely find all of the bugs that Mythos found and more. Problem is, humans get bored. That is the big benefit that AI has over humans, is that AI doesn't get bored yet. I mean, technically, I guess you could consider a hallucination a form of boredom. But point is, with the right harness, what you can do is effectively say, okay, search through the source code of this program, find any bugs, and list them out. Do this for every single piece of software on this Linux install. No. As in, LLMs will start losing context and hallucinating as the context grows bigger, right? So you could technically make that analogous to boredom, right? But yeah, so the way Mythos is finding all of these bugs has nothing to do with Mythos being a super fancy AI. The way it works is they've got like this harness thing. And if I recall correctly, I'm not certain about this. There's there's a thing that I need to... So there's a thing that I read a little while back, and I've since forgotten a bunch of it. But the way I understand it works is... But the way it works... the way I understand it to work is that Mythos will... So the Mythos harness will look at each individual program in a Linux install. It will get the source code, because basically everything Linux is open source. It'll get the source code. It will search the source code for that one project for bugs, right? And then it will list all the bugs for this source code. And then it will do that for every single thing in the Linux install. Then, once it has all of these bugs, it will then say, okay, what programs can this program be called by? Okay, do these have any bugs that link up, right? So, for example, this program has this edge case bugs that is normally harmless, in that it can take weirdly large HTTP requests. And this other thing has this issue where it's got it doesn't handle buffers perfectly, right? So if you give it a really big HTTP request, which a really big input that normally it will never get, but if you give it this really big HTTP, if you give this other program this really big HTTP request, it will call this other program and give it a giant input that it can't handle properly. And Mythos is able to find that connection. And because it can find that connection, there is it has discovered a new exploit. In reality, there might be two separate people who have known that this largely harmless bug exists in program A, and another person who knows that this largely harmless bug exists in program B. Thing is, neither of these people know about the other bug. And if they knew about the other bug, then maybe they could see how it changed and suddenly becomes a more serious issue. Because there is that chain. But because of the limits of human boredom, it is extremely unlikely to have a person who knows every single edge case like this. And that's a thing AI is legitimately good for. And hey, finally there's a thing that AI is good for. I mean, AI does have use cases. Thing is, most of the shit that people are trying to use AI for is not actually all that useful. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, let's put it this way. I recently started up a new novel for the sole purpose of testing AI-assisted writing. It has gone very badly. God. So, as is fairly obvious. Indeed. Okay, so, let me get... here's one good thing, right? I did have one good experience with AI as a writing tool. No, is it this way? Is it this chapter? Here. So this letter is not written with AI, but what I did was I wrote the letter first, and then I said, hey, write this as a diplomatic letter. Right? I wrote the whole letter, all of the plot points and everything, and then I just said, okay, rewrite this a diplomatic letter. I had to throw basically the entire letter out that the AI generated, but it gave me a format that I could use and fully rewrite it in that format and that kind of thing, right? So all of this stuff is my writing. The only thing is, because I had a reference to look at, I knew roughly what kind of sounded right. But if I look at a different story that I was experimenting with, can I say it does? Let me see if I have it. Is it in? Yeah. So this is Nyax. It is my attempt to write like a romance story, right? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna experiment. I'm gonna use this as a writing exercise for how you might write with AI. And like for a little while, it seemed like it was going well. There's like some signs of AI writing in here, but basically the way I do this is I will write a chapter. I will use a harness to say, okay, read through this shit. Give me a beta read, and say give me a beta read and put in the beta read folder so I can compare it, right? And I will get a response from the LLM, and I will be able to like break up, say compare the stuff, get like feedback on what I'm writing. Let me tell you that the like quality of the AI writing is so shit. And I've tried with like the online models, right? I've thrown a couple of chapters at like the ChatGPT thing that they do. I still refuse to pay for any of this shit. Yeah, but like I still refuse to pay for this shit, so I don't do like so I haven't used like a paid LLM service. But when I compare the results, despite being shit at writing romance, right? The stuff that the AI is putting out is like the most generic, nonsensical twaddle that I've ever read. I mean, like, all of the like AI stories that I've read, like, and I've seen quite a few because on a couple of sites on like QQ and Sufficient Velocity and SB, there are now people using. Yeah, I'm giving it first. Like the first step is plot points. The second step is first draft. The whole thing, like I will do various steps. I'm experimenting with how to use it, right? Because I don't want to just be like, oh, I used an AI to try and do some writing, but it went really shit. And like the reason it went shit was because I was a dumbass, right? So, like that's why that story exists and why it got to like 4 chapters, and it's why that one chapter, say that one thing in like this letter writing thing exists, because I want to try and like use LLMs appropriately. I want to approach it with a level of like like I want to approach it. I don't want to be disingenuous about it. I want to be properly informed and using it appropriately and all that shit. But point is, even when I look at other AI writers, right, people who use LLMs, I can see a major difference in the people who use LLMs well and the people who don't, because I've seen the vast gulf in quality that comes from a good writer using AI and a shit writer using AI to like try and dump out like twaddle, right? And like there are stories where I will get bored out of my mind, and then I will notice the tag that says AI assisted, and I'm like, oh, that explains it. And like the writing is super predictable. It's super formulaic. Very little ingenuity. There is like some stuff that'll come from interesting things. Um, there's one interesting thing that was coming when I was working on this chapter a little while ago. Is I was working on this section and I managed to catch like a misplaced gender. Yeah, so like the thing is, AI AI has severe limitations mainly because of what it inherently is. And for some stuff, AI is decent, right? For finding patterns because it's a pattern matching machine. For like generating generic twaddle, it is fine if that's what you want, I guess. Thing is, AI, as far as I have been able to like experience it, is almost certainly best used by people who know how to do the stuff that they're asking the AI to do, because while an LLM does so is able to approximate a certain level of quality, it doesn't actually have an internal logic to it, right? Ultimately, what an LLM is doing is it's taking your input and predicting how that chain of conversation continues. So, unfortunately, I can't really link to the specific. Let me see if I can find the find the specific story that I found, and I'll see if it has something on an acceptable site. Give me a second. But there was one person who wrote Naruto fan work a little while ago. Uh, watch threads. Ba, ba, let's see. Tropes. Percent. Okay, give me a second. It's taking a while for me to find this thing. Uh, ba, 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 where is this? Give me a second. No. No, 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 no. Anyways, point is, there was one that I was reading where they had a solid story, like a solid plot, really interesting plot points, and the way I could see the AI being worked in there is it helped like give set dressing, right? It would describe a place, it would add adjectives to an existing sentence, it would like adjust how a place was set inside a um it would set how it it's not that. But yeah, it was the way it read is more like someone wrote a story, then they used AI to like apply a veneer over it to like expand on the sections where they were like weaker as a writer. Does that make sense? It turned out actually really well. I'm actually kind of annoyed that I've lost the story. I'll have to go like search for it again. But point is, the person, what they had, at least from what I could see, is a solid original story. They perhaps weren't confident in themselves to like expand on certain plot points or whatever else. Maybe they don't like doing like setting writing, describing the space. Maybe that's where they're weak, right? What I think, like, I don't even think they had an issue with the prose. What I think they did is they like the based on the way it looks. What I think they did is they wrote out almost everything. They maybe used the LLM to like expand some of the dialogue, but what the major thing is I think they had it like describe a place in prose so that it was in more detail for the scene, right? But they didn't say. But like the point is, the way it kind of worked is the way it worked out was that the stuff that felt important to read about, the stuff that felt important to read, felt really genuine. It was fresh. It was nice to read and all of that stuff. But yeah, generally, it felt decent. So, as with most things, there is a way to use it properly, and then there is people trying to get you to buy snake oil for whatever reason, right? Like snake oil does, I believe, have a use. It's just not a cure-all. Like, let's see, are there actual uses for snake oil? Actual uses for snake oil. Point is yada yada yada. But yeah, point is, yeah. So yeah, the original water snake oil did have health benefits in terms of like joint issues. But yeah, point is there are if you used Chinese water snake oil to treat joint issues, then that's an appropriate use of snake oil. But there were salesmen claiming that snake oil could fix everything. Um. Oh, speaking of Gemini, I ran into a really weird issue where, for some reason, but for some reason, Gemini seems to treat fandom sources as official canon, which is hilarious to me. Uh, but yeah, like one of the things that came up was I was trying to look up, say, I was trying to look up if Niops had jump technology because they have because I have a scene that was happening and then some stuff came up. But no, the only time Niops has ever had jump technology is yeah. The only time Niops has had jump technology is in Fanworks. But yeah, I'm actually the remember I was talking about that AI like project, right? That was actually for the purpose of another style of AI assistant writing that I was experimenting with. Basically, I was looking into hey Sanzi, but I was like, okay, so to catch you up on things, Sanzi, um, again, I so we got sidetracked by the use of AI in writing and how there are appropriate ways to use it, but generally, AI writing is pretty shit. But yeah, long story short, I'm not like a AI bro, but the point, but as with all things, I try and actually be informed on my opinions. In this case, I've tried to use AI both local and like the free models that they have available. My experiences with AI have been generally mixed in the sense that there are a few good use cases, but overall, it's not been great. Um. But yeah. When Salman gets back, I'll talk about the other thing. Oh, what do you want to mention? Especially since you create the sphere that she now uses as a first strike. First and often final strike. Oh, thank you. That's really nice of you, man. Uh. I'll admit things have been a little bit stressful lately, but I've managed to cut back on a lot of the usual sources of my stress, and hopefully that remains, you know, pretty normal going forward. But yeah, hopefully I will be back to my usual 3.5 to 4 hour streams in a couple of weeks when my current source of stress is dealt with. But yeah, that is part of the reason why I am currently streaming for only about an hour a day. Um. mhm, mhm. Uh, Often. Yeah. The issue primarily, yep. So, while the spear is indeed powerful, when the circumstances permit, the it has a glaring issue. The weapon effectively becomes limited to a single. Okay. Honestly, I am very much of the Fanon concept that the Hyuga should be given bows. I do not know why the Hyuga are fucking like melee fighters. They're like the ultimate snipers, and I have no idea why they punch people or slap people. Single use per engage. Honestly, if you if you remain a regular, and a couple other people drop by for the majority of my streams, you probably could. The only thing stopping me from becoming an affiliate and receiving bits is the fact that I have a viewer average of less than 2. Which, again, I am not, like, pushing for... I am not pushing for... actually, I should probably check something. Let me follow you. Sanzi. There we go. But, what's it called? Yeah. Honestly, if my YouTube audience migrated to Twitch, I could theoretically be earning money off of this. Like, again, Denny and Zed, don't worry about it. I'm not pushing for this to be like an actual money-making endeavor. If I was, there are things I could do to like push my Zed and Denethor, say Denny, and occasionally Robite. I think between the 3 of you, if and Salmon's also fairly regular. If the 3 of you, say if the 4 of you, watched on Twitch rather than YouTube, I could probably qualify for the affiliate program on Twitch. Again, I don't actually care. If I wanted to push for affiliate on Twitch, there are things. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. The reason I stream to multiple platforms is because I want you to be able to watch wherever it feels comfortable. Like, I know that the Twitch phone app is shit. So if you want to watch me from a phone on YouTube, go for it, man. If you want to watch on, like, if you have YouTube Premium and you want to watch on YouTube because it is, because you don't get ads there, go for it. I have no issue with that. Honestly, if I had, there are streamers that I watch on YouTube because I pay for YouTube Premium, and I don't want to also pay for Twitch Twitch Turbo. So, yeah, I can't really begrudge people for that. But, like, there are, like, ways that I could theoretically push my Twitch viewership enough to like start earning small amounts of money from Twitch. And like the problem with the thing about YouTube is that there is a way larger user base there, right? Ooh, nice. With the way, I'll say with no say. Don't worry about it, man. Like, just take care of yourself. But don't worry. Also, I can't receive donations on YouTube either. Hey, hi Denny. But yeah, I can't receive. I'm not like affiliate on YouTube either. The thing is, YouTube has much stricter affiliate terms than YouTube does. YouTube's affiliate YouTube's affiliate thing is like let me actually pull it up so I can confirm it. But to be eligible to to earn money on YouTube, I would need almost 400 more subscribers and to more than double the public watch hours. So I think if my YouTube audience about tripled, then I could theoretically say, if my YouTube audience tripled and also my follower count quadrupled, say my subscriber count quadrupled, I could earn money on YouTube. Which is not happening anytime soon. On Twitch, the only thing stopping me from earning money is what do you call it? The only thing from earning money is having an average of 3 viewers. Yeah. The only thing doing that is like yeah. But like no, but on YouTube and on Twitch, even if I'm not an affiliate, you still get ads, right? The money just goes to the platform. So like I know that if you're watching me on Twitch and you don't have an ad blocker, you'll still get ads, even if like even if I don't earn anything from it, right? Or what's it called? No, unfortunately it doesn't. Maybe you're just lucky? But I've seen ads on smaller creators and all of that stuff. Like people with less average viewers than I would expect them to be affiliate with, that kind of thing. But point is, yes, even if you are not earning money on Twitch, you still get ads on Twitch. Same for YouTube. So if you've got Turbo or YouTube Premium and you just want to avoid the ads, I'm all for it, man. But yeah, like I would need to be a much bigger viewer on, much bigger YouTuber, only a moderately more successful Twitch streamer. Like, forced in that case might be the person running it, but yeah. Are there ads on non-affiliate? Affiliate Twitch streams. Yep. Wait, is there an ad? Huh. I might need to investigate some stuff. But yeah, point is, you can't force. No. The thing that I was investigating is, apparently I can sign up to unlock new features even if I'm not an affiliate. So that's a thing. But But yeah, I would have to look into it. I don't know yet. I would have to see. But I think this might be I think this might be channel points. I will have to investigate. But yeah, I will have to investigate. Point is, I guess so. If there aren't ads on things, Zed, did you? Say, I believe you were the one. Say, did you mention that you'd seen an ad on my Twitch stream? The way I understand it is that if you are an affiliate, you get control over that shit. But if you don't, Twitch still might. The reason why I think that it is so that's the case is that effectively right. Okay, whatever. I'll just ignore it for now. Yeah, anyways, stuff. But yeah, Zed, leaving Twitch on in the background doesn't actually contribute to it, I think. Might, but it might require you to switch back and forth. But also don't worry about it, man. But yeah, that's the whole thing. But yeah, apparently there are like monetization tools that exist for like just Twitch streamers apparently. When did this happen? That's weird. Now I know why I didn't see it. Apparently, when you're in the creator dashboard, it doesn't show. Or it didn't show at least. Okay, point is I'll have to fill that out later. The weapon effectively becomes limited to a single use per engagement. Or at least when it comes to its main damage dealing function. Yeah, they are calling down lightning requires the spear to be fired from range, and unless the kami deliberately disengages from the fight after retrieving weapon, she is unable to make use of the strike. So we make use of that functionality. Should the enemy survive the first. At least from what I see, it says 4. But either way, if I keep up on it, maybe things happen. But yeah, there are ways that I could do, say that I can push for monetization. I just don't want to. Like, if it happens, that's great, and I would love for there to be organic growth that leads to it. Hey, if I become a big enough streamer, most of my problems go away. I should the first. I still I haven't played ZZZ, so my primary exposure to it has been the online gooner nonsense that goes on with that game. That's also my main experience with Marvel Rivals. So I am fully aware that that might not be particularly representative of ZZZ. But yeah, I know the kind of person that I am. I avoid gacha games like the plague. She is largely unable to make use of and that in your creation rate. Craftsmanship, magical knowledge, artifice. I need to go back and check some stuff. Oh, let me see something. I know I did this in Apocalypse, in Side Story. Updated character sheet. Did I? Right. I think that I'm not supposed to be doubling up on shit. A/N did a review of the updates to the character. It should not have been doubling up on magical knowledge and artifice. Depends precisely on how that goes. But at least for the purposes of this, like, it lowers the DC. Like, I don't really consider generically creating a puppet to be a major challenge for Scotchy anymore. So yeah. Yanjing, familiar and crafting assistant. That's probably a difficulty of like 1,000 or so. Yeah, 3,000. 3,100 makes sense. Okay, let's see. I need to roll. Edit. Throw dice. 48, 100. Add that. Correct. 100. You know, it's 3,200 anyway. That's 31. That's what I said. So you set to work while creating, while modifying artifact is an extremely difficult process. If it is possible at all. The There is nothing stopping you from using. You start work on the second. Maybe? There's some stuff, like, I'm not going to backdate stuff, but now that I have a better idea of how things, say, better idea of the roles, I think there will have to be some adjustment. But yeah, some stuff will change, some stuff will stay the same. But yeah, you start working second half. So you're my favorite animal? Probably dogs. Like, I know it's a basic bitch answer, but like, dogs are one of the most modified animals in human history. Like, if you really think about it, until we like got to the Industrial Revolution, the primary technology of humanity was just like modifying animals to be better at the jobs we wanted them for. And think about dogs. Like, think about how many different breeds of dogs there are, and how many jobs humanity bred into dogs. Like, there used to be a whole breed of dog called the turnspit dog that was bred for the sole purpose of turning spits. And this breed of dogs no longer exists because we don't have that role. Yeah. It's surprising how many how many animals just have like an innate magnetic sense. There is some suspicion that humans also have a similar sense. It's just harder to detect. Like, because we're just not used to it. Like, used to using it. If it was possible, then to stopping someone from using two objects in But yeah, there is some non-zero research that humans are able to approximate north. It will be one. So it's supposed to be for an hour, but I got sidetracked by AI stuff. So now we are just until I'm done with the update. The continued restoration of the damaged landscapes. Landscapes are hastened in the face of the oncoming storm. The with how close things are, the risks of a major event grow by the day, and your plan has been doing what it can to destabilize the damaged terrain from the previous atmospheric. That reminds me, I need to grab the third thing. No, there's no difficulty from there. Honestly, like the main difficulty I was seeing there was from I might knock the difficulty down to 2100 actually, which would technically make this an auto pass, but the main difficulty I was putting in there is mainly from creating a system that doesn't interfere with the natural aerodynamics of the spear, right? So you said to motorize if it is possible at all. There's nothing stopping one from using two objects in possession. And you have previously designed tethered weapons for providing a means of safely extracting the. You know what? I am going to keep the 3100 thing, but I'm going to say the difficulty comes from both not interfering with aerodynamics and also returning back to her hand quickly. Safely extracting this spear. In a manner that does not interfere with her usual fighting style is something that you believe is possible. Building off the tools, so the of the experience you had in designing the Nanami. Here. Unagi. designing Uminagi. You focus on Uminagi and Yan. You once again return to the extending uh, chord idea. Though this time, applying the technique to a wire rather the sure thing than the usual cable system. And the main challenge comes in during that does not interfere with the usual aerodynamics piece there, especially given how difficult the system is to aim usually. Or at least somewhat able to do so by though you also have to contend with the speed that you will need to recall to ensure it properly integrates with army's battle style. To do so, you will focus on you alter your perception of the tension of the cable, creating more leaning into the fact that sure thing. Cheers, man. Cheers. Leaning to the fact that the extended portions of the cord are which you use to manifest, which you focus on manifesting in the realm rather than the physical one. Not only allowing the cord to remain effectively intangible, but also to very easily snap back to its true, much shorter life, and pull the spear back into the wielder. Sorry about the flashbang there. I really need to fix that. post reply, and that is all for today. Cheers, everyone. I do actually need to run.